Right, let's get in near them. Oh, this is the one. Are you the right guy? Is he monk? You're not. Is it? Was it Rickard? No, I think it was Rickard. Loner named Rickard who lives near the site of an ancient car crash. I mean, I'd say that's an ancient car crash, or an old car crash. Ah, I came to you looking for our mutual friend, Chigurov. The hermit frowns and looks away from you. Chigurov? A noble bandit with whom we used to rob merchants in the good old days? My sworn brother Chigurov? Nope, I haven't seen Chigurov, no. Maybe the spirits of the forest have seen him. I'm on good terms with them nowadays because I'm a child of nature and stuff like that. They'll reveal all their secrets to you if you do me a couple of favours. I am intrigued on what his favours are. What can I do for you? A sharp movement, the man presses his dirty index finger against your lips. Quiet, not for me, for them. For the spirits. Ooga booga boo. Listen, carefully, is the sound of leaves rustling, or is it the whispers of the creatures from beyond our realm? They demand tea, and some canned food, and some nice yummy rice cracker, just like their mama used to make. Okay, I thought it was going to be something interesting. Let's load the auto save. Go with the personality routes. If I got it, I might as well use it, right? Okay, man, it's not great time for games. You doing me and Chigurov a favour? The man blushes slightly, but then nods in agreement. Shame on you. Can't you do the spirits a favour? Alright, have it your way. Chigurov came to visit me a couple of days ago. It was purely business. I had a couple of dynamite sticks laying around from here from the times when we were a gang together. For self-defense. He bought them from me. I don't know whether he needed them for a job or just to take them off my hands. I'm a pacifist now, you know that. I haven't seen him since. Why does he need that dynamite? During our robber days, he was always careful not to hurt anyone too much. Once we had to kill a watchdog, and he held vigils for a whole week. He kept whining about the dog so much I got sick of it, and usually gave all the stolen money to the poor. And now, when he develops a sudden urge to blow something up, well, that's weird. But listen, child, I'm overcome with doubt. That man in Fogolevka sent us to find a criminal, a robber, but according to his acquaintance, Chigurov is actually a nobleman. Maybe it wasn't wise to disclose the information acquired here to that cruel investigator. Wait, what? So you aren't his friends? Are you after him? Oh, come on, guys. What the hell? Don't rat Chigurov out. He's a good man. Such a good boy. That's what I've been trying to... That's what I've been trying to say, my wild friend. Okay, fine. Thanks for the info. Okay, I don't want to rat Chigurov out, seeing as he seems like a nice guy in an otherwise shitty world. And if he's helping other people out, then why not? I wonder what I can tell the... Because, I mean, I don't even know where he is. I mean, what? We know that he's hiding right under the nose of the, the investigator, and that he's got dynamite. But he doesn't hurt people, so what's he going to do with it then? Weird. You've discovered a small path that leads to a giant rock. There's a cave entrance in it. Check it out. It's interesting. This doesn't sound like good music. I better eat up. Oh, this doesn't sound like good music at all. Alright. I can see the remains of a campfire. Deep within. Well, not too... Huh. It's not really a small enough... It's too small of a map, really, for... combat? It's an old gas mask and some wires. Some nails, an empty canteen, more nails. What's all the nails? And nothing more. Yeah, that's pretty small. Tattered journal. What the hell? Might as well read it. This is interesting. The reason why this diary came to life is so stupid I feel rather awkward to talk about it. Really. Over taking into account the suspicious events of the past few days, I feel it's necessary to do so. Exactly 2 weeks ago I was passing through Krasnostamonye. I was planning to sell a couple of wire rolls and buy some food, which I did, but as I was going to step outside the city walls, a crowd of gypsies surrounded me. An old gypsy woman, clearly the leader, offered to tell my fortune, and the next thing I knew she was studying my hand with a feigned interest. I expected a traditional... a lot of happiness, a sea of pain, and then they demanded to... and then they demanded to pay for the prediction. But what happened next came as a surprise. She let go of my hand and stared me in the eyes, frightened for some reason. He's following you, she whispered. I've got goosebumps, Jesus. I wondered who was following me, but the old woman didn't give me time to inquire. Watch the sky, she screamed, and disappeared with the cronies who went quiet suddenly. To be honest, I was puzzled. Not so much by her prediction, but rather the fact that they hadn't stolen anything from me. I stood there for a while, and having decided at last all of this must be nothing but stupid superstitions of stupid people, I went on. The words about someone following me were now imprinted on my memory. I had trouble going to sleep at night. The thought that I was being watched bothered me, and a clear winter sky I could see from the window brought back a warning. Watch the skies. I was still nervous in the morning. My head was full of obsessive, frightening thoughts. From time to time I would look around or check on the skies, as if expecting it to change somehow. Everything looked just as usual, but then a thought crawled in my mind that it seemed fake, as if a curtain fell from my eyes after what the old gypsy woman had said, and I started seeing some wrongness in the world around. I thought I was going mad. The stresses of life finally turned me into a paranoiac or a schizophrenic or both. But then something happened today that gave flesh to my vague suspicions. I noticed someone in the corner of my eye, far away, but he was clearly following me. The silhouette was human, but I couldn't make out any details. Anyway, this was enough. If not to disperse the thought I was going crazy, then at least to start exploring other options. So now I'm sitting in front of the fire, looking at the starry skies and writing my thoughts down. May my diary be my ally if I'm really losing my mind or if there's really someone watching me. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I do have goosebumps right now. It's super creepy. I don't know whether any of you guys have seen that film, It Follows. Oh, that's horrible. Ugh. Definitely recommend a watch if you like horror movies there. 3rd of February 2003, so that was like a couple of weeks after. I'm leaving a note here again, just a little addition to the first one. It is very important. I'm really being watched. I've noticed the dark figure looming on the horizon more than once. Still, every time I move in his direction to check, the bastard disappears. But I know I saw him. I think I should set snares and traps around. I have a couple of theories about who it might be. The first, and also the most probable one, is that the gypsy's playing some kind of game with me. I don't really understand what it is they're after. Maybe some point they will turn up with some magical talisman, protection from evil spirits, or another anti-scientific trinket. If this is their plan, they've chosen the wrong person. These ridiculous tales won't scare me. If they bring their magical shit to me, I swear I will open fire. The second theory is that someone's planning to mug me. This too is possible. In any case, I think the traps will not be out of place. By the way, I cast a glance at the sky every now and then before going to sleep, and there is something different about it, as if it changes all the time. It looks different every night. And then, what is that, only a couple of days after, yeah? 2 days after. Today I've got another proof I was being watched. I was checking the traps and found a scrap of fabric in one of them. It seems woolen, painted black. The scrap I got had a golden star embroidered on it. I couldn't understand what the item of clothing it was torn off. Trousers, a jacket, a coat, perhaps even a raincoat? What matters is that someone's been loafing around so close to my camp. In other news, rabbits got trapped in 2 of the snares. Not bad. A couple of weeks after, my phantom follower hasn't shown his face for almost a month. I all but forgot about the diary, but this night I had to get it down to it again. At first I thought it was a wounded animal's wailing that woke me up, but as soon as I got my bearings I realized the ear-piercing sound that had made me jump in cold sweat was something unnatural about it. An animal's howl is full of pain, fear, anxiety. This, however, sounded blank, emotionless, like a signal, or a siren. People say in ancient Greece sirens lured seamen to the rocks. Perhaps he wants to make me leave the camp? I was right about this guilty intent, but I'd chosen the wrong guy. I know a thing or two myself. 3 days later. Oh no, it's a month and 3 days later. It's night again. I was woken up by the rattling squeak again. I armed myself and crawled to the camp's border. No one. And suddenly there was a rustling of leaves under the feet of someone invisible. Someone running right at me from the underwood. In the quiet of the night it sounded deafening. I rushed back to the camp, barely managing to cling on to my only means of protection against this bugger and his gang. I was running for about 2 minutes when I realized there was nobody following me. So they weren't going to mug me. What the hell are they after? What does that black bastard want from me? These days are still too short to go in search of gypsies who foretold my fortune, and they must have long since left these lands. I need to collect myself. And then, in short succession, so the next one's only 3 days after. The third night passed quickly. I had no dreams, I had no sensation of time. It felt as if I just lay down and switched off for 7 hours. In the morning I did some household chores. I extracted the young roe from a trap. There were no traces of human presence around the camp. They must have decided to be more careful after their last encounter. I like the way they're getting like shorter and shorter passages as well. Next day. I was studying the skies all night. I might not have trusted what I saw before, but writing my findings off as pure coincidence or tricks of the eye. But now it's obvious, it's all true. The stars are going out. I couldn't locate the dimmest star in the Great Bear. Sagittarius' string is thinned visibly. What is going on? Next day. I have an idea, or rather, a hypothesis. What if the end of the world is not just an expression? What if the phrase we use to call the outcome of the Great War is literal, made up by adding its constituents? A rueful prophecy, like the one of that gypsy, but on a global scale. What if it's not my personal follower clad in black, the leader of a criminal gang, but the metaphor of the darkness thickening over the world? What if the bombs fell and killed the light, and now the blackness is shrouding us every night thicker and thicker? There are ever fewer stars on the sky. It's all but gone out. God, not even a date on that one. Don't be scared of the sky. Don't worry. Don't run from me. Don't be scared of the sky. Don't worry. Don't run from me. Don't be scared of the sky. Don't worry. Don't run from me. Don't be scared of the sky. Don't worry. Don't run from me. Don't run from me. So yeah, there is having a schizophrenic episode, or something's writing in his diary. And as it goes along, it gets sort of worse in terms of its grammar as well. It's just 3 days after. It's nonsense, nonsense. But it's true. Or is it? Yes, it is. My senses can't lie. My memory can't deceive me. I slept like a log last night, emaciated after watching the blackening sky. It wasn't me who left the latest note. It wasn't me who wrote that nonsensical word about the sky. Jesus, not even my handwriting. Who was it? Someone sneaked into my camp. It's not safe anymore. I can't stop shaking. Every time I think about them sneaking around, the black figure sent by the gypsies. What gypsies? What did gypsies have to do with it? He leaned over my sleeping body, rummaged through my belongings. He breathed at me, wrote in my diary. Leave me alone. What do you want? Followed 2 days later. I decided not to wait until morning. I hear footsteps around the camp. He wants to get in again, to continue writing in my diary. So I fled, with all the stuff I could carry in the early hours of the morning. I moved to a cave not too far from my bivouac. It's good here, deep and safe. Just one exit, just one entrance. Easy to guard. Don't have to be scared. Right, now, the fact that it's be scared, but it's, you know, he's messed it up. He says that's not his handwriting in the other one, but they start saying that in this as well. So I'm not sure whether that's intentional. It is actually him writing the notes in that case. So that's the day after. 30 days after September, April, June, and November. Okay, so a couple of days after then. If only the cave entrance didn't open up to the sky, I wouldn't know. I would be calmer, less anxious about myself and my future. But I see it. The last stars are leaving the sky. It's pitch dark. There's no hope anymore. Then 12 days later. No more supplies, just some water in a flask. I'm afraid to go out and check the snares. He won't let me go outside. He scuffs in the fallen leaves at the entrance. As soon as I come close to the entrance, he jumps up and starts shrieking. He never sleeps. He's always there at the threshold, waiting, the same color as the dead sky, invisible. He's here. That's like 3 days later. Ooh, goosebumps. Now, the concerning thing is this like an SCP where now I know of it, I'm going to start seeing him? I really hope not. Will I hear a sound? It'd been terrifying if I heard my car horn going off when I was reading that though. I think I'd actually shit myself. I can't see anything else. That note has left me uneasy though. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. Well, that was worrying. I mean, people were saying that about the stars looking different. But they weren't necessarily saying they were disappearing. They were saying about the Hesperus star, weren't they? Quite often. That's not good though. That's cool in like a horrifying kind of way. Let's hand the pieces of the car back. Here we go. Oh, and it's a mailman. But which kind of mailman, I wonder? The one with a bugle or the one without? Oh, it's him again. Hey buddy, no letters for you, I'm afraid. How are you? No way to tell. I can't see any identifying symbols on him, but you know, if some postmen are postmen, other postmen are like members of that group, then you know. I'll have to tell. Look at my loot. 8 wires, right? I think I have some wires here somewhere. Former head of Otradno smiles gratefully. Wait, wasn't that 8? I hope it helps. Wait. Oh, am I reading it the other way around? Oh. Oh yeah, 17 scraps of metal, 8 bits of wire. Okay. I thought it was the other way around. Shit, that means I don't have enough. Oh well, I'll have a couple of days to gather some more anyway. At least Kovalov's coming on with the vehicle. Right, I don't think there's anyone else around. First for your clothes. I need to do something. Are these those goons? What the hell? Who are you? A member of the factory gang. You see a well-built, fit man in a faded cap. He's slowly walking on his way, looking at the huts of Otradno with interest. A fire-dried pour of milk that sticks out the man's rucksack. A fire-dried pour of milk that sticks out the man's rucksack waves friendly at you with his every step until he sees you looking at him and stops. Ah, so he has like fur in that. Hey, a fresh face in our land. Surprising but true. Don't try to argue with me, comrade. I got a photographic memory. If I say or see something, it's like it's been set in stone. But enough about me. Let me hear about you. You didn't approach me for no reason. No reason? Not for no reason at all. I was hoping to ask you a couple of questions. Yeah, I'm listening. How can I address you? Let's call me Nicodim. I'm a man of nature. I'm not used to all these redundant niceties. Pleasure to meet you. My name is... Yes? Odilum Gennady, the menacing robber of the haughty. Moom the Snake Strangler. That's a euphemism if I've ever heard one. Valoron Rooster, the Avenger from Chisnau. Agdam. Igor. Nice to meet you. I'm Nicodim, and you're Igor. It's a pleasure and all that. What do you do for a living? I'm a lucky man, in the sense I didn't have to change my profession after the war. I started as an amateur hunter, practicing it in my leisure time. Now I'm doing it full time. I walk the woods and meadows, enjoy what's left of the beautiful scenery. I kill game to feed myself and to sell it. I hunt moose, I hunt giant and mermilk, wolves, hares, what else? Alright, those Arachnidus Sovieticus. What was that? Did you try to give a Latin name to a giant spider? At least some of us still preserve the spirit of the nature scientists of the past century. The hunter smiles self-consciously. Oh, you're a science lover as well? Yes, I think it's a law. If a new creature is found in the forest, it should be given a Latin name. I learnt it from stuff I read. I got a wide selection of magazines in my old hut. All the various Young Naturalist, Young Engineer, Pet Corner. I even have the entertainment ones, Tramway and Murzilka. By the way, hey, that's right. I long wanted to give some of them away. Maybe you know some child or several kids? What the hell? For many people, including myself, children are the most precious thing in the wasteland. They're only more valuable things you can find with the slave owners are young women. Jesus Christ. Do I know any kids? I think I know a couple. Yeah, I know plenty of kids. I'd be happy to distribute your magazines among them, I guess. Hunter visibly livens up. An answer? Listen, I don't have them on me right now, of course, but let me bring you a small pile of magazines the next time I come here. Maybe you can pass them on to someone. I've already read them all cover to cover, while some child could use them. It's both an entertainment and a way to learn about life. We'll do a good thing, my friend. Okay. Well, there are a few people who've... Oh, yeah, there's the one in that farmstead, isn't there, who's asking to learn about stuff. And there's also the one at the... Marsden was it? Is that farm to the left? So there's the one in the north, just above Red Fighter, and the one to the left, north of Fogolevka. And what can you tell me about this place? Otradno is like a rabbit hole between a wolf's den and a bear's lair. It's a nice, cozy place, but it's only safe until the wolf and the bear are now feeding at each other's places, start digging it up, or until the hunter finds it and places a trap at the entrance. Yeah, well, we've destroyed one of the hunters in the form of the Death Gang. Perhaps you've heard some interesting rumour? Far in the north, and beyond the marsh, I often cross paths with another hunter, Nikolai. He's a nice guy, has a respect for literature, even writes poetry. And when it comes to our down-to-earth business, he's also a wolf expert. I myself only hunt wolves when there's no other game around. Why waste time on them? They're like dogs. You take away their fangs and that's it. There's nothing left of the game. Nikolai has clients in Krasnostamonia who need furs and fangs. Who gets them those? He dragged me into his venture once. We went on a wolf hunt together. Shot a couple of them, but it took us longer than we thought it would. We had to go back really late at night, and the forest in this area is really entangled, you see? I see, but still do explain. In midday, it's twilight there because the crones of the trees let in the sunlight only through an occasional hole between the branch and the leaves. While in the late evening, this was our case, it's pitch dark. We had to move pretty much by touch while carrying our load to the glade where we pitched our tents. When we finally got out of the thicket, I just froze. My God, it was so beautiful there. In the day, it's a regular glade, but in the night, when the star there we go, Hesper star again, has appeared in the sky and is sailing through the thick clouds, pouring its silver light on the earth. It's a totally different picture then. So yeah, the lights aren't dimming according to most people, just that guy with the diary. I hope he's not passed his curse on to me, but that would be a very interesting way to go, I guess. From a horror perspective, obviously. The dew on the grass sparkled in the starlight. The water in the spring was like diamond snake. It murmured and winded around the roots and stones. It all made me stop in my tracks. Suddenly, Nikolai poked me in my side. What did he want? Look, he said, you're not the only one charmed by the scenery. I recollected myself. I looked where Nikolai was pointing, and I saw the silhouette of something lying just a couple of meters away from my tent. Its shape resembled that of a wolf, but the wolf was lying on his back, with two pairs of its thin legs in the air, while his head, bent at some unnatural angle, was facing due east. Looking at the sky, at the crones of the trees illuminated with the silver light, at the star, motionless, but its fur was all raised as if it was aiming upwards. Tell me now, why would an animal want to look upwards? No idea. I shouted. The silhouette jumped up and ran into the forest, on all four, befitting for a wolf, but with its head still raised almost vertically, as if his neck had been wrought. That would be a kind of horrifying fight. Jesus Christ, a wolf like looking directly up, just like sprinting away from you. Some people may shrug at this and say maybe it's just a mutation, the wolf was born a freak, but listen to what Nikolai figured. Hunter cleared his throat, and stretching his arm with pathos, pronounced with emotion. The years go by and ages pass, but living creatures are no dream. They keep on living and surpass the laws that once were true, it seemed. I even learnt it by heart, that's how much I liked it. It was a new moon then, and I noticed that on the days when the moon renews, my brain actually really begins working 100 times better. That's how it is. You got interested mates? I better go. That's creepy. Why is all this creepy stuff happening now? Leave me out of it.